There are a lot of things that I lack. I know it, I've experienced it. But when I look at my husband, I find it plenty. So the only reasonable thing that I knew I must do is to cleave and to submit so that he can minister it to me. I need him. I can't do without him. It's not just possible. I am only one bone. And the same way with him. He also knows that as wonderful as you see this man of God, he is incomplete without me. Some of you, for example, you have read our books. You have read our books, isn't it? Can I confess to you that there is hardly any book that comes out that he releases without allowing me to add my own bone? Because the ministry of that book will be incomplete without my input. My input may be little. It may look inconsequential, but it's important. In the same way, there is nothing like that. No book, no journal, no article anywhere that I will write. No matter how much he says he's busy, that thing can wait. It can even wait for up to 1 year. I won't release it out. Because I know that I am just one bone. The remaining bones are here. I better collect it so that this thing will work.
So, that is it. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and do what? And cleave. Let me just add before we go away. The truth of the matter is that, and the rib which God took away from the man made he unto the woman. You will read that in that verse. So the rib which God took from the man, he made. Now, may I inform you that that rib is not in your mother. Are we together? That rib is not in your friend. Some of you are very tight friends. These are two incomplete, incompatible bones. A friend may be so useful to you, and we have had great friends whom we are very close and we are still close. But the truth of the matter is that according to God's divine plan, the person that carried the rib I'm looking for is here. Because it's not in my mother, it's not in my father. Where should I look for it? I must look for it here. That's why it becomes necessary, it's just reasonable to cleave. And what is she supposed to do? That's what she's been explaining. Is to enter. Now, let's read one verse on this before we go away. You will notice that verse 20, was that 21? He said, and the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs, and what did he do? He closed up the flesh instead thereof. That's a very great mystery that I'm hoping that all our wives, you will help us never to forget. Do you know the truth of the matter is that when God took off that rib, so that it will not look open, nobody can see it from outside, what did God do? He covered it. So you will see your husband when you are not married to him. You think he's a complete man. Maybe the disappointment many wives had is that they thought they married a perfect man, only to enter. I said, so this man of God that I thought is already like an angel. So there is this loophole in his life. Now, may we say that what you are seeing as the loophole in your husband is the very reason. Actually, you are the reason for that loophole. You are the cause of it. And that's the reason why you are there. To do what? To fill it. So the first question is never to ridicule him about what he does not know how to do that you know how to do. And it is not to compete with your wife to show her how much she does not know how to do that you can do without her. When you do that, it means you don't have understanding that what God wanted is completeness. You might be competent, but this is competent incompleteness. I note that the Lord did not stop speaking until he said, wherefore they are no more two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let not man do what? Put asunder. Now I was going to raise that in terms of whether money, whether sex, whether relatives, and whatever, even ministry. The first point we are noting from what Sister Shade has pointed, that actually the man and his wife, they are actually from one source, and that the coming in of your wife only completes you to become one. And if there are no more two but one, it then means that everything about this couple is what? Is one. Now permit me to explain what is coming to my mind on this. Which means that the progress of the husband is whose progress? Is the progress of the wife. The promotion that the wife gets, maybe she was working in an office and she was promoted. Whose is that promotion? Is the husband's, because there are no more two. Now, my wife's parents, whose parents? They have become our parents. And honestly speaking, we have to train them to know that when we got married, they lost Shade into me. My people had to learn that they no longer have Gbile. That Gbile is lost into this woman. And that what they have now is a composite. It's neither the one they used to have, nor the one they used to know. Because we have now been coupled, bond. You can't have Gbile again because Gbile is lost into this new thing. Shade cannot be got again, no, because she's lost into this new union. Now, for us, it was a deliberate training. We had to do it. I'll give you what we did. Because, you know, as I'm listening to some of the issues we raised yesterday, I smiled because I felt that it was a fundamental misunderstanding. It's a fundamental omission that has brought all the challenges we are talking about. And let's deal with it. When we got married, my father-in-law, our father, wrote a letter to her daughter. Dear Shade, and said all that he wanted. It's not dangerous. He has not said anything wrong. But it was addressed to Shade. When my wife got it, we read it together. I said we have to train Baba because he doesn't know. It takes time to train an old man to know what he doesn't know. So we have to. So what did we do? When we were going to reply, it was me who took the paper in my own handwriting to write. Daddy, we receive your letter, which you wrote to us. We are very, very, very grateful, and responded to everything he was asking Shade. At the end, signed Gbile Akanni. We sent a letter. Then he wrote again. Mrs. Folashade Akanni, Dr. Mrs. wrote again. My wife said, Baba has written us again. I said, yes, bring it, I will reply. I replied again. I replied and replied and replied. One time we went home and he said, Shade, what's wrong with you? I've been writing, you don't reply. He said, you've been writing me? No. We saw your letter, we wrote. Didn't you see the letter? We said, your husband wrote. Your husband, I wanted to see your handwriting. We sat him down and said, sorry, there are no more to. Actually, any letter that you are writing that Gbile cannot read, you don't need to write it. So after some training, the next letters, Mr. and Mrs. Shade Gbile Akanni, dear children. Are you understanding that now? It might look small, that's how we did. They didn't know. But you know, it was a little easier to train them on that side. From my own side. How can? You know, in the normal culture, wives ought never to be part of or put their mouth in family discussion. So my senior brothers came. Gbile Orowa. I say yes. There's something to say, isn't it? They say yes. I say all right. When Shade comes, we shall talk. Say, for what? I told you, pé ọ̀rọ̀ wà. You are saying, no. It's not the matter of women here. I say, no. Whatever she cannot sit in, we can't discuss. That was very strange. Do you know what? That was my deliverance. Whenever they came, they want to talk to Gbile like this. I say, oh yeah, Sister Shade, they want to talk to us. So the two of us will come and sit like that. I say, oh yeah, Baba, Atideu. Do you know what I discovered? If they wanted to say something, 10 things. And they needed to ask some certain amount of money. When they talk, 1, 2, 3, they said, oh, it's all right. Whatever you people think, you let us know. And then we deliberately, even though there is an answer we could give on the spot, we say, okay, we will go and think about it. We'll get back to you. And then we will move into our bedroom. And we'll sit down there and say, so this thing they are talking, what do we do? If they ask for 10,000 and all we have is 500 naira, are you understanding? You know, it looks like shame for a man. But if you want to build your home in a manner that it remains strong, you have to learn to live. So when we have decided, I say 500, Abi, you know, that's all we have to give for this case. Say yes. So we will come together. But Shade is the one who is going to present it. So she will bring this thing and kneel down. Baba, Adupe, we thank God. This is what we are able to support that thing with. God bless you. Now, number one, they will first of all accept it and say, "Oh, Sheung, thank you very much. Thank you very much." Now, thinking that when she leaves, they will sit me down. Okay, no. You know what they do? When they finish, when we finish like that, as she's moving, I also stand up and say, "Oh, God bless you. Thank you very much." What kind of thing is this now? Has this woman eaten your intestine? But you see, we persisted. And as we were persisting in doing that, it became a very interesting thing that whenever anybody from my side needed to say anything or comes, number one, they know that there's no discussion until she's around. In fact, they don't even wait. They don't talk to me again. It is her they will talk to. And when I come back, they say, "We have already discussed what we came for with Mama." Finished. So for the first time in our family, in my extended family, are you hearing me? Family meeting, where all my siblings, my father's children and my mother's children, all of us, which is supposed to be meeting of the family, of the children of the house, where wives are never supposed to be, whereas other wives may be somewhere at the backyard. Are you understanding? Shade and myself were sitting in the family meeting together. We had to train that. All the children that we had to raise, extended family children and all of that, this is how me and my wife will sit down. Every child that is coming, you talk to us together. We decide issues together. And in fact, to make it faster, she is the administrator of all of such issues. So I have found that as we deliberately decided to train our relatives so that they can honor, the Bible says marriage is honorable. If you don't honor your marriage in the eyes of your people, they will trample on it. A situation where your junior brother walks in and is laying a demand and calling you aside and talking to you, and when your wife is coming in, he keeps quiet. That's a dishonor to your marriage. It's a dishonor. A situation where he has not talked with your wife, and once you came in, he talked for hours. And when he's going to say, "Well, I've talked to my brother," that's a dishonor. Once you allow it once, you are beginning to destroy your own matrimony. Even though you are a pastor, they will pull you. And you know, in our culture, there are several of our cultures that wives are treated as ordinary property. Nothing about her. She's a visitor. You have the mandate under God to correct it.